In 2026, a hiker in Colorado came face to face with a mountain lion on a narrow trail. The lion crouched. It stared. It took one step forward. The hiker screamed at the top of his lungs, waved his arms, and charged. The mountain lion ran away. That sounds insane until you realize it works almost every single time. Think about what just happened. A 160-pound human, no claws, no fangs, no natural weapons, screamed at a 140-pound apex predator designed to kill things larger than itself. And the predator fled. Not because it couldn't win the fight. It absolutely could. But because something about that scream, that aggression, that confidence told the predator's brain one thing: this is not prey. This is a threat. So what actually happens in the seconds after you scream at a wild predator? And why does something that should get you killed so often save your life? Predators don't just hear sound. They decode it. Every noise an animal makes carries information. Pitch, volume, rhythm, duration. A predator's brain is constantly processing those signals to answer one question: what is this, and should I be afraid of it? Prey animals make specific kinds of sounds. High-pitched squeals. Frantic, erratic noises. Distress calls that signal vulnerability. These sounds trigger predatory instincts. They mean food. Humans screaming? We don't sound like that. A full-volume human scream sits at around 100 to 120 decibels. That's louder than a chainsaw. Louder than a car horn. And critically, it's in a frequency range that most predators associate not with prey, but with aggression. When you scream at a bear, a mountain lion, a wolf, you're not making the sound of something running away. You're making the sound of something that's about to fight back. And predators are risk assessment machines. Every single one of them is running a cost-benefit analysis in real time. Can I kill this? Probably. But will it hurt me in the process? And is it worth the risk? One broken rib, one infected scratch, one injured paw, and a predator starves. It can't hunt. It can't compete. It can't survive. You don't have to win the fight. You just have to make the predator think the fight isn't free. Here's the part that sounds counterintuitive. The louder and more aggressive you act, the less likely a predator is to see you as prey. Because prey doesn't do that. A deer doesn't scream and charge at a mountain lion. A rabbit doesn't stand its ground and roar at a wolf. Prey runs, hides, freezes, or submits. Aggression is a signal. And in the wild, it usually means one of two things: you're defending something, or you're not afraid. Either way, you're dangerous. There's a documented case from Glacier National Park where a hiker screamed at a grizzly bear that was approaching her campsite. The bear stopped, tilted its head, and slowly backed away. Not because it was scared of the sound itself, but because the behavior didn't compute. Why is this small, soft creature acting like a dominant threat? Predators are pattern recognition machines. They've spent thousands of generations learning what prey looks like, sounds like, smells like. And you, screaming and advancing, break every single pattern. That hesitation? That confusion? That's your window. Not all predators respond the same way. And that matters. Mountain lions are ambush hunters. They rely on stealth and surprise. If you see them, their strategy is already broken. Screaming at a mountain lion almost always works because you've ruined their advantage. They retreat, reset, and usually don't come back. Bears are more complicated. Black bears are easily startled. Screaming, making yourself big, and being loud will almost always send them running. Grizzlies, on the other hand, are more confident. Screaming can work, but only if the bear isn't already in defense mode. If it's protecting cubs or a food source, aggression can escalate the situation. Wolves are pack animals with complex social hierarchies. Screaming at a lone wolf can work. Screaming at a pack? You're just announcing your position. They'll circle, test, probe. Aggression works best when combined with making yourself appear larger and backing away slowly without turning around. Big cats like lions and leopards in Africa have been documented retreating from aggressive humans. But here's the key: only in areas where they've had historical human contact. In regions where big cats haven't learned to associate humans with danger, screaming does almost nothing. You're just loud prey. Context is everything. Because it doesn't always work. And understanding when it fails could save your life. Surprise encounters. If you stumble onto a predator at close range, especially a mother with young, screaming can trigger a defensive attack. The animal isn't hunting. It's panicking. And a panicking predator doesn't run calculations. It fights. Habituation. Predators that have lost their fear of humans, usually because they've been fed or have learned to associate humans with food, don't respond to aggression the same way. You're not a threat. You're a vending machine. Desperation. A starving predator, sick or injured, overrides its normal risk avoidance. The cost-benefit analysis shifts. If it doesn't eat, it dies anyway. At that point, your screaming is just noise. And here's the uncomfortable truth: in those situations, nothing you do may matter. But those situations are rare. Statistically, extraordinarily rare. The National Park Service has tracked thousands of human-predator encounters over the last 50 years. In documented cases where humans acted aggressively, made noise, and stood their ground against mountain lions, the success rate is over 90%. For black bears, it's even higher. Close to 95%. In a study of 27 mountain lion attacks in California between 1986 and 2014, researchers found that victims who fought back, screamed, and acted aggressively had significantly higher survival rates than those who played dead or ran. Fighting back works. Not because you're stronger, but because you're convincing. You're selling the predator on a story: I'm not worth it. And most of the time, they believe you. So here's what's actually happening when you scream at a wild predator. You're not scaring it, exactly. You're confusing it. You're breaking the script. You're acting like something that prey never acts like. And in that moment of confusion, the predator's survival instincts kick in. Not fight. Flight. Because every predator alive today is the descendant of animals that chose caution over curiosity. The ones that didn't? They didn't survive long enough to pass on their genes. The next time you're on a trail and you see something with teeth looking at you the wrong way, remember this. You are a member of the most persistently dangerous species this planet has ever produced. We've outlasted dire wolves, cave bears, and saber-toothed cats. We didn't do that by being quiet. Your voice is a weapon. Your aggression is a signal. And for millions of years, predators have been learning that the loudest, strangest, most unpredictable ape in the forest is not something you want to test. Scream if you need to. Make yourself huge. Be loud. Be weird. Be confident. Because in the wild, confidence isn't just attitude. It's survival. This is Idea Spark, where we ignite curiosity one idea at a time.